Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Prof. CK, and this is All the Mod 7 to the Sky. Let's get started. I've been going back and forth since last time, and I've decided we're going to do the immersive engineering route. Um, I really enjoy immersive and haven't done it in a long time, so we're going to do this, multi-block structures, and we're going to make the metal press. So in order to do that, we're going to need to do quite a few steps to get there. So the first thing we're going to need is coke brick. So to make coke brick, let's get some sandstone. I think we need 9. And we're going to need 27 coke bricks. So if I math that right, oh, we're short on just plain bricks. Yep. All right, let me smelt these up. Give me a second. So try that again. Coke brick, 27. The coke bricks let us make two things. We can use it to make charcoal. We can use it to make coal into coal coke, and either of those will let us, will also produce creosote oil as a byproduct, and it's actually the creosote that we're after. Now, the other thing that you need for immersive engineering is the engineer's hammer. Just a couple of iron, stick, string, and this basically functions as the wrench. So we've got our 3x3x3 of coke bricks. We right click on it and it becomes a coke oven. So you can put logs or you can put coal on this side and it will give you out either charcoal or coal coke and creosote oil. And we can bucket it out. We're going to need quite a bit of it, so let's do a tank. Actually, let's get some coal started. Now, I prefer doing coal blocks, and the reason for that is immersive gives you a little bit of bonus. So it takes 9 coal to make a coal block, but you'll get out 9 or 1 coke brick, which breaks down to 9 coal coke, which we're honestly probably not going to use, but it gives you each piece of coal gives you half a bucket of creosote oil, but a coke brick gives you a full 10 buckets. So you actually get an extra half bucket by doing the blocks. This is very, very slow, so I wanted to get that started first. While we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and make a few other pieces. So I want to make a tank, and in particular, I want to make the jumbo tank from mob grinding utils, because this holds 1,000 buckets. So let's take a look at that. In order to make the jumbo tank, we need 4 singularity tanks, which is just iron and glass. 2, 3, and we're out of glass. All right, give me another second. Okay. All right, got the glass. 3, 4. Jumbo tank is those 4 singularity tanks and some iron ingots. And let's grab a pipe. We'll just need 1. And if we come over here, we can plunk him down, put in the pipe, set him to extract. And once this gets done, and it's 14%, this will generate 10 buckets of creosote oil and put it in the tank. The other thing is we're going to need something to pull out the coal coke, because if those get full, the whole thing will shut down. Now, functional storage has a neat upgrade that I want to try. It's called this puller upgrade. And we have all the parts. I don't want to use that. Let's use one of these 2x2s. Oh, and that was a quest. You know, we haven't looked at quests in a while. We should check. We'll check those soon. So if we put this down, we can right-click on any side, and it puts it in the system. And if you look, right-click in a GUI to change direction. So the direction up, north, south, west, east, we are facing east. I'm looking up here in the corner at the mini-map. So we want you to pull east. So again, as this gets processed, it will just pull the coal coke out. It'll pull the creosote oil out, and we will come back in another 77%. I do wish we had time in a bottle, but we don't, and that's okay. Oh, I also made this guy the market. Let me just show you that really quick. So market, super cheap. Red wool, it does have to be red. A couple of planks, a couple of logs, you get the market. You place it down, and if you're out in the open, the guy will fall from the sky. If you're under a roof, he digs up from the bottom. And he is a vendor that sells seeds, saplings, and so forth for emeralds. So let's say we wanted blackberry seeds. Click on that, put in an emerald, and we could take out a blackberry seed. So I did that because I wanted to upgrade our food a little bit. And so I got pepper, tomato, onion, garlic, corn, and potatoes, which plus the mutton I've been getting from the passive mob farm. Let me make shepherd's pie, which, look at that food value. I mean, one shepherd's pie will completely fill the entire hunger bar with so much overflow, I don't even know what it does with it. So we'll finish off. I had also made some goulash, which is, you know, beef and pork, cabbage, onion, tomatoes, with a frying pan. Let me show you. The frying pan is from Croptopia. It's just iron. Pretty decent food, but this shepherd's pie is just crazy. So where were we? So that's running. We need to make, so that's done, that's done. We need to make steel. So in order to make the metal press, we need to get steel scaffolding, which takes steel. Redstone engineering takes iron, but the heavy engineering block also takes steel. To make steel, we can't alloy it. So we could make it in the immersive engineering blast furnace. This is painfully slow. We can make it in the induction smelter. Oh no, we can't even make it in the induction smelter. We'd have to start with the steel dust. So to make the steel dust, very simple recipe. It's just iron dust and 4 coal with an ore hammer. Iron dust is just either raw iron or an iron ingot with an ore hammer. So let's do that. We'll use the raw iron recipe. Let's go 2 stacks. And we're going to run out of ore hammer here in a second, so let's make a spare of those. And then our steel. Yep, there went the ore hammer. And it again with the ore hammer. I would look into making a higher end one, but I'm hoping that we are done with ore hammers soon. With just a few more upgrades. And then we just smelt that into steel in a normal smeltery. So steel scaffolding is 3 steel ingots and 3 steel rods. We can make steel rods. We could make it in the metal press using only 1 ingot. We could actually technically cast it in the smeltery if we made a rod cast, but I think we saw how cheap steel is right now. I think we can just do 1, 2, 3, and there's 6 steel scaffolding. Take you off. And this is actually going to give us enough materials for 2 of these things. So now we need to make iron sheet metal, which is iron plates. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the redstone engineering block, which is redstone dust copper ingot. Makes 4 at a time. The heavy engineering block, we need steel sheet metal times 4, so we need steel plates. And we're going to need more of those here in a second, but let's get these. So there's our steel sheet metal and the steel mechanical component. So we can do this recipe in the crafting table, uses 4 steel sheets, or we could go down the whole engineer's workbench tree. The more I think about it, I think making the steel is faster and cheaper than dealing with this. So we'll need 16. Oh, out of steel. Okay. And steel mechanical component should give us 4. And heavy engineering block gives us 4. We're going to need a piston, which we know how to make. Come on. Which, you know, the best laid plans. We're actually not doing any of this, which means, oh, shoot, nope, we do still need to do that for the, all right, let me bring that back. Well, we need to wait for the creosote oil anyway. How are we coming? 70%. So while we're waiting on that, let's get these things built. So what we need to do is, we'll center you up. Let's see, where do we have power? We're going to have to run power down to this guy. I'm just making a mess. There, we'll tap into power here. So this is going to be our center point, which will be the redstone block. And we can go ahead and make 2 at a time. No, I don't actually think we can. We'll make them 1 at a time. So the redstone engineering block, the positioning on the piston is important. So we'll put that down so we can put the heavy block on top. And then sneak in here, piston. And if we go back to the engineer's manual, it will show us that the block we need to, the block we need to click on, there we go, is this highlighted red block, which is the piston. And the piston has to be pointed down. That's why I did it in that order. Oh, whoops, missed a step. We also need conveyor belts, which is just leather. And when we place the conveyor belt, watch the direction. So if we go, do we want it to run this way? No, I'm going to have it run this way for now. So we could point it any one of these directions. You can use the hammer to make it stand up, or lay flat, or whoops, it got us, or rotate. So if you place it the wrong direction, you can spin it with the hammer. But we want to make sure they're running the same direction. And then we right-click that, and we have a metal press. So we'll do the same thing one more time. We're going to want one for rods and 1 for plates. We could technically use the same. We could technically use 1 metal press and just swap the press die. Can I rotate you? No, only around the sides. So let's sneak so we're getting close enough. Yes. But having to is more convenient because then we don't have to deal with fiddling with putting dies in and out. So the other thing we're going to need is a way to load it. So we'll put these down. We'll put another pair of conveyors. And let's grab a couple hoppers. Do I have? Yes, I do. We can put that away, that away, that away. And I also want to take these last 2 hoppers and upgrade them to dropping conveyor, or not hoppers, conveyor belts, these dropping conveyor belts, which is just an iron trap door. And what this will do is when something passes over it, the dropping conveyor belt will drop the item into a below inventory. So we put down a chest, and we can put down these dropping conveyor belts, come around this side, put down some hoppers, and now we need to make the metal press molds, which we have to make in the engineer's workbench. I'm sad that I took all of that off, but we're going to need to get treated wood slabs and fences. Slabs are made from treated wood planks, and treated wood planks are made from any plank with a bucket of creosote oil. So let's grab a bucket. Let's grab a couple of buckets and see how are we doing. Are we done? Yay, it finished. So it just finished. It's at 2% of the next one. So this automatically pulled out the coal coke. This automatically pulled out. Oh, I did my math wrong that whole time. 5 buckets, not 10. So if we did 9 individual coal, it would be 4.5. And with the block, it's an even 5. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll use them all. We'll put all this away. And it has a bunch of different like decorative variants. So make sure when you're doing it, it's the horizontal plank will give you the proper recipe. So let's make. We have one more? Yeah, and that should be our last bucket of creosote. Yep. All right. Shoot. So we're done with that. We're done with that. We're done with that. I accidentally clicked off the mold, but we'll bring it back. So slabs. Treated wood fence, which takes sticks. Turn that off. We need an engineer's workbench, which is just a crafting table surrounded by treated wood. More sticks. So the engineer's crafting table can be useful. I'm not a huge fan, but it has its own inventory. So you can put stuff in here to pull for the recipe you're making. I like this better, but it's the same idea, just on a much smaller scale. So let's pick him up, and let's make the engineer's workbench. Do we have all the pieces? We do. We do not. What are we short? Slabs. One more set of slabs. Engineer's workbench. And you can live here. And now from the engineer's workbench, we need to make the press molds. And I accidentally clicked off the rod mold. So in order to make the press molds, we need to make a blueprint. The blueprint is, in this case, just a plate, an iron plate, blue dye, and paper. So let's make that. We're out of blue dye. I'll make a bunch of that. We're out of paper. Let's make a bunch of that. Well, make as much as we can. I did replant the sugarcane because we were running out of paper. So we kick the blueprint into this slot, which gives us our different recipes. And we're going to need 3 steel plates and a wire cutter for each. So let's go over here. Let's make the wire cutter. And let's make our steel plates. So we're going to need 6 total. And throw in the wire cutter, throw in the plates. We need 1 plate mold and 1 rod mold. And this will retain its inventory, so we can just leave those wire cutters in there. And let's put just right click the rod mold on one side, the plate mold on the other side. And now if we grab out our aluminium, Let's see, we need 1, 2, 3 rods and 1, 2 plates. We come back over to our, and we could just throw these on here, but having the hoppers makes it a lot easier. Oh, and turn off our magnet. Let's do our 3 rods and our 2 plates. And, oh, power. You know, I talked about power and then forgot to actually hook it up. So let's do that. Those will despawn if I just leave them sitting on top of the machine long enough, so we'll do it quickly. And actually, it's... and I'll pick him up in a minute. Actually, yeah, magnet. This little dot on top, you have to power it through that dot. So some devices you can hook up any side you want. This one is sided specific. And that's done running, so let's kick this in so you can see it. Squish, plate, and sucked into the dropper. Squish the rod. Squish the rod. Oh, too close. And now we've got our 3 rods, we've got our 2 plates. We're done with that, we're done with that, we're done with that, we're done with that. And we now have an Alchemistry pickaxe. We'll put some of this stuff away. Keep that on me. Oh, and you know what? One other thing I'd like to do. Let's make some item frames, because I am going to forget which is which. I like these clear item frames from Tinkers. So we'll make 2 of those, and let's get some copper. I think that'll look nice, and it'll have a good contrast against that steel. So just to show you, you can just toss these in, but you got to line it up just right. It's... Nope. 2 rods. So you can see why I don't like the tossing method. I'll stick with my... Stick with the hopper method. It's these boots have the step assist, which is throwing me off, and I just walk up to stuff and it throws me on, and then the hopper, or then the conveyor grabs me. So let's grab this, let's grab this. If we come around here, we'll put 1 here. Let's put it was the plate on the left, the rod on the right, the other rod in the void, and now when we come up, we can see at a glance which is which. So, and then if we add like a gear or whatever else, we can just do that so we can keep track of which is which. Okay, so why did we want the Alchemistry pickaxe so badly? Because our next stop is the other. We want to get Vibranium. So if we look at Vibranium ore, Warp Forest and Crimson Forest, or the other. It's actually sorry, it's not disabled. It's only mineable by an Alchemistry or better pickaxe. Kind of like we could only pick up the Alchemistry with a netherite or better pickaxe. Same deal. So Nether, Warp Forest, and Crimson Forest. Other, all biomes, Y 0 to 20. The Nether is not going to work out so well for us for mining, but we are going to have to go through the Nether. I'll show you why it's not really going to be a thing. Let's grab a flint and steel. And we'll build this over here so it's out of the way. Turn our magnet back on. Turn our jetpack on. All right. Off we go. This is why mining in the Nether is not really on the to-do list. It's a void. But we do spawn, and as far as I can tell, you always spawn right next to a fortress. So if anybody has gotten one of these where the fortress was not right next to the pad, let me know. So we'll plunk this down on top. Yeah, sure. Oh, well, and you can't change your mind. Once you place it, you can't move it. If you break this, it just breaks. But while we're here, I would like to find a blaze spawner. You get it? You got it. We're going to slash home because I don't want to die in the void. Okay, and again, because it's apotheosis and we have silk touch on our pickaxe, we actually get the blaze spawner, and that's going to be super, super useful. We'll do that, honestly, probably next time. And we can go back in, farm blazes, farm wither skeletons. We're not going to do that right now. I love the way this corn looks. All right, so let's go back in. Let's grab our Allemadium pickaxe. And let's go to... got to throttle. And it should be a shift right click with an empty hand. Regular right click. Oh, there we go. And here is the other. So let's go ahead and add a waypoint. We can always slash home, but I do really like having the waypoint. The other nice thing, let's just go way up for a second so we don't have to deal with these mobs. The other thing that's really nice is all the Modium gear and Vibranium and Unobtainium is indestructible. Leave me alone. I'm talking to the people. Go away. So let's find, is there some exposed? You know what? Let's just go right here. And oh, sandstone, that's nice. So if we shift and hold down the vein mining key, we can change our shape. And if we do small tunnel, we go straight down, which, you know, is always the safest thing you can do in Minecraft. But since we have a jetpack, we don't really have to worry about falling into lava. And what's our Y level? 20? 21? Yeah, alright, so let's turn our jetpack off and dig down a little bit more. We'll go down to, say, 10. And let's grab some torches out of our backpack. And, shift our vein mine back to shapeless. Down torch so we can see. And what I'm going to do is just kind of vein mine. We need to get two Vibranium ores. So I'm just going to start going in this direction. Let's turn on our F7 so we can see the dark spots so we don't get mobs popping up behind us. And as long as we stay in that between 0 and 20 elevation, we should eventually run into some Vibranium. It's not super common, but it's also not super rare. So I'm going to just kind of mine it in a straight-ish line, and I will bring you back when I find it. And there we are. So that was actually only a few minutes. Let's grab our... No, we don't need that. Do we have our fortune pick? Yeah, we got our fortune pick. Let's grab these diamonds. This cannot mine... Ooh, more diamonds. So this can't mine that. You see, if you look at the one probe at the top center, it's got an X. It needs a pickaxe level Allemadium. So let's go ahead and grab this. And that is our first piece of Vibranium. We'll put this here. And we need one more. So I'm going to just keep going, and I'll bring it back in. Oh, well, you know what? Honestly, I'm not even going to cut. There it is. Like I said, it's not super common, but it's also not incredibly rare. It's easy enough to just go, you know, randomly in a straight line if you just need to get a couple pieces. Um, this is where we came in. Like that's how far I had to go. And I also went about the same distance this way. Hit a cave, so just came back. So we'll slash home. Let's get out an ore hammer and double that. So our 2 pieces becomes 4 dust. We'll smelt those, and while we're smelting those, we're also going to need to make a piece of Enderium. So Enderium is the same kind of idea that we ran into with the Signalum last time, or 2 times ago, where we don't really have the technology to make it directly yet. That's an induction smelter that we haven't built. We could build it, but we don't really need to, because we can make it from Enderium dust, which is just lead dust and platinum dust. So let's make a bunch of lead dust. Let's make a bunch of... Did I not tag it? I didn't tag it. There we go. Whoops. Let's make a bunch of platinum dust. And then we need to make the ender pearl dust, which is just smelting ender pearls in specifically a blast furnace. So let's make a blast furnace. Let's grab some sulfur. Sulfur doesn't have a lot of uses, so that's why I'm just kind of burning it up here. And 1 stack will do. That's going to take a while. Oh, you know what? Let's check something really quick. There is a blasting upgrade for the iron furnaces. Let's see if that will let us do this quicker. So let's go blasting. So we'll make another blast furnace. And the blasting upgrade, which is just stone, redstone paper. And we'll stick you in the bottom. So you are now for blasting. Let's grab more eyes. No, pearls. Oh, that's a lot. What? Did I crash? Hang on. Okay, we're back. I'm not sure what that was about, but it hard crashed to desktop. So, what were we doing? Oh yeah, ender pearls. Smelting those into ender dust. And let's grab our vibranium ingots. Can we smelt them here? Yeah, we can't smelt them in the furnace that does not have the blasting upgrade. I do like that it puts the icon on the furnace. Let's see, how are these coming? Yeah, they're coming. Let's see now, can we make our Enderium dust? We can! Yay! Oops. Alright, and we actually only need 1 piece, so let's get those smelted, grab the first piece, and we need to, I'll put those away for later. We need to turn this into a plate. Let's come over here. Pop that in. It's running across. Alright, and we can hook up pipes and stuff to this later if we want to. But this gives us, not that, access to the transmutation table. Oh, no, we still got to make dark matter. So let's do that really quick. So dark matter, you might recall we glanced at this in like episode 1. So it's an aluminium ingot and then just an insane amount of coal. So let's make, I think if I math this right, we need 8 stacks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we can turn this alchemical coal, which is the same as coal, it just burns faster, into Mobius fuel. And then we turn the Mobius fuel into Eternalis fuel. And then we can turn the Eternalis fuel with our aluminium ingots into dark matter. And how much aluminium do we have left? We have 20 ingots and we have 25 raw ore still that will become 50 more ingots. So we're doing okay on that for now. But let's take a look at making the transmutation table. Wait, that's the tablet. What do you need? Dark matter block. We don't need the tablet, sorry. We need the table. So 4 vibranium, 1 enderium plate, 4 dark matter gives us the transmutation table. And we place that down. And this, if you remember, we talked about EMC a while ago. I forget what exactly it stands for, equivalent matter something. So we put things that have EMC into the system to teach it that recipe. So now it can make soul sand. If we give it something else that has EMC, say the cobble, it's storing that. So we could take out soul sand and we just turned cobble into soul sand. And you might recall that I had mentioned amethyst having a massive amount of EMC, 4,000 per amethyst shard. So if we take all of this amethyst, not the name tag, and we can just double click that in, we have 4.5 million EMC. If you look at what stuff costs, so let's say iron. Where's iron? Here it is. 128 to make an iron. So let's teach it iron. So let's grab 1 iron ingot so that it knows the recipe. And now we can use this EMC to take out as much iron as we can afford, which is a lot. So all of these things that have EMC, we now have effectively infinite of. So all the different stone types, the different vanilla log types, glass, soul sand, concrete, all the different concrete colors, all the different flowers. So what I'm going to do is go through here and everything that has EMC, hashtag EMC, so the hashtag looks for the tag. So I'm going to take this stuff out and put into the system, whoops, what did I grab last? Blackstone. So we now have infinite mushrooms, infinite bones, cactus. That canopy tree log, I think, is it going to learn that as canopy tree or is it going to learn that as oak? No, it's canopy. Okay. So it's now learning all of these recipes or items. So I'm going to take a few minutes off camera and plug all of this stuff in. Things that don't have a lot of them, I'll just put it all in to conserve storage. Because that'll also clear out the drawers where those things are setting. So down to lapis, and I will be right back. Okay, so another interesting thing that we can do is we can use we can make some concrete. So let's go ahead and make one of these white concrete powders. Right, and we can put this in here. We take it back out, we can plunk this down, grab our Philosopher's Stone, use that to change the color in world, and now we have two colors of concrete. So I'm going to convert a bunch of these concretes to different colors and teach them to the system and be right back. Alright, so I've got all the concretes in. We can also do the same thing with the different saplings, the different flowers, the modded saplings. We do have infinite slime now. Soul log? I'll have to look into that at some point. And I think everything is now in there. So we now have all of these things on essentially infinite. Let's call that an episode. If you have any thoughts, ideas, questions, or suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for coming along, and I will talk with you next time. Bye-bye.